Our calendar is not quite right. We're supposed to have 13 months of 28 days, with one day, the day of resurrection, Easter, as a neutral day. That's our 365 days. We've actually got 13 constellations, not 12. This same calendar is very close to the Mayan calendar, but it's also very close to several ancient Sanskrit calendars. What does sept mean? Seven. I thought that was the 9th month. What does oct mean? What does nov mean? What does dec mean? It's supposed to be the 7th, 8th, 9th, and 10th month. Jan is 11. Feb is 12. March is 13. April is our first month. Babies are born in the spring, the 1st of April, Easter. This is the start of our new year. This is the start of spring when the flowers start coming up, the grass starts coming up, the trees start leafing out, the babies are born. That's the first day. Our neutral day, day one, the day we rest and celebrate the resurrection, the new beginning, the beginning of Christ. April is month 1. And then we lost a month in there. Where is it? What's it called? We know what it's called. I'm not going to reveal it yet, but we know what it's called. But this is the true calendar. The Gregorian calendar is SMU. Shit made up by man. To keep us out of our natural cycles. We all vibrate at one of 3 frequencies. Did you know that? Okay.
Hello everybody, hope everything's well, and as always, let's jump right into this. Now, the first video, as you saw, was talking about how time was manipulated. This is also how they manipulated history, okay? And that dude, when he mentioned that we're on 3 different frequencies, yes, the 3 different frequencies are 3, 6, and 9, okay? But we'll talk about that in a different video. Now, this article is talking about how 97% of human history is lost today, okay? And that most of what we know of history is actually a fabrication. So, what Bobby Hemmett said before, that these people had to write or fake a place in history, okay? Now, this article right here talks about a German historian, well, discrediting him. They're trying to discredit him, saying that, talking about his article he made in 1996, which I'm going to read here soon, discussing how the Middle Ages were fabricated. Now, it says here the phantom time hypothesis is the brainchild of Herbert Allighi. I'm probably butchering his last name, so forgive me for that. A German publisher and amateur historian who gained attention following the publication of his controversial 1996 bestseller, which translates to the invented Middle Ages, the greatest time falsification in history. During his investigation, Allighi compared the dating of Julian calendar implemented by Julius Caesar in 45 BC to that of the currently used Gregorian calendar introduced by Pope Gregory XIII in 1582 AD. He claims that by his calculations, some 297 years appear to be missing. But Allighi doesn't stop there. He then argues that there's missing years were secretly added as a part of a plot hatched by Pope Sylvester II and Holy Roman Emperor Otto III, living During the 8th century AD, these medieval elites allegedly wanted to speed up time so that their respective reigns would correspond with the year 1000, exactly 1 millennia after the birth of Jesus Christ. So as like I was saying before, Bobby Hemmett was saying they were fabricating themselves a history. So they manipulated time to confuse people and not to know of their own lineage, things of that nature. And I'm going to show you right now the double talk. Okay, so they're calling him a conspiracy theorist, correct? Look at this. This is an article by Forbes. There's no such thing as the Renaissance. It says here, on a bright spring day in Tuscany, sometime around 1500 CE, a Dante merchant in the lovely city of Florence rolled out of bed. He smelled something different in the air, and he sprung from his bed, but his wife and the animals in the house, still asleep, moved quietly to the shutters and opened them to a bright, sunshine-filled day. "Oh my," he yelled, waking everyone around. "Finally, the Middle Ages are over. It must be the Renaissance." But of course, that didn't really happen. We tend to understand intuitively that historical periods don't suddenly begin or end. We know, for example, that the example above is ridiculous. We say, for example, that Rome wasn't built in a day and understand what it means. Similarly, we understand that Rome and its empire don't crumble in a day either, but we're still attached to those ideas, still webbed to the idea of a sudden apocalypse. We can clean breaks. We want clean breaks. Greece gave way to Rome, which gave way to the Middle Ages, which gave way to the Renaissance, to the Reformation, etc. Now, as you all know, Greece learned everything they know from Egypt. As they stated before, and Rome said they learned everything they know. Everything they learned from Greece. Okay? So this is just a copying of Egypt, aka Kemet. Okay? Ultimately, this is to hide your civilization and your history. That's why Black civilization history is a mystery. Okay? It was pretty much trying to erase you out. But it continues here. The biggest break, of course, is between pre-modern and modern, with the line usually drawn right after the Middle Ages. This we still call the Renaissance, but the Renaissance is nothing more than air, a myth created by the 14th century Italians to tell themselves they were different, better than their ancestors. And the Renaissance serves today because we find it comforting, like a warm blanket. So, and I'll put this in the description, of course, so you guys want to continue on with this. But as you can see, the double talk with history and time and how it's manipulated, and the lies they probably propagate in the schools and things of that nature. But we already talked about that as well. That's why the Jesuits control the top 28 colleges in the United States and other academic facilities around the world as well. And not to mention that I said previously how all these classified documents that they have. So this is all being kept secret, but there's leaks, of course, and if you do your own research. But thank you for listening, and peace and balance to the ancient ones.